everybody, welcome to day 25 of the 30-day daily drawing challenge, designed to help you build a daily drawing habit in 10 minutes or less per day. Today is basically 10 minutes on how to draw a can of Sprite. So today was, pick your favorite drink treat, and I didn't have that many treats around the house, but there was a can of Sprite that was kind of left around, so I just emptied it out, and I've got it set up. So one of the things when you're drawing cylinders, a lot of times you just set it on a desk and it's just straight on. But here's a tip that can help you get a little bit more of a movement and a little bit more action in your cylinder drink can pose. And that is by using poster tack. So just basically, any brand will do. This one is, I got this stuff by Loctite, but it's just your poster tack. You basically just take the strip, break off a bunch, and you get this like gluey little ball. Ball it up. Then take your can of Sprite or can of whatever, or any kind of can or cylinder, and put a blob on the bottom of it, and then just jam it down on the desk, or what for me it's my desk, on your table, and you get a little bit of an angle. And if it's an empty can, it's light enough that it doesn't move around too much. There's a little bit of movement from the tension of the poster tack itself, but no great movement. But I think this way, if you were doing a still life or something, you could get yourself some really interesting, like strange angles that people might not really know how you did it. So just a little bit of poster tack, and it's pretty cheap. I think it might be $4 or $5. I can't remember. I bought this a while ago, because that's the great thing about poster tack is you can reuse it. So today I'm doing the Sprite can. I've picked my Derwent Inktense block colors. So I've got everything ready to go. So let's get started. I'm going to hit my 10-minute timer, and here we go. So I'm going to start off with a light green, just to set up my some of the angles. I want to figure out what this cylinder itself is, because that's really what a pop can is just a cylinder with some weird dents and stuff in it. But as you're drawing these ellipses to make your pop can, you kind of want to be sure that they kind of follow the same thing. Don't you want to kind of keep those curves as similar as possible in general, just as a as a kind of as a guide. And this has got some, it's interesting that the stuff closest to the light is almost feels like it's some of it's the darkest, because what's happening is getting reflections in the metal since it's so shiny, and some of the things that are behind it are darker. Or I should say not behind it, but the things that are reflected are darker almost than some of the shadows. And I'm not paying attention too much to the logo at this point. I'm more concerned, at least for myself, with how these reflections act on the surface of the aluminum. And it is interesting how I can see my hand moving in some of these. I wish I could. I need one more camera so you can see what I'm looking at. I need one more camera that I can hold, so you can see the way the shadow moves as I'm drawing it. Now that I know what I'm looking at, I can kind of see some of these. You can see the coils of the notebook underneath. Okay, let me try some. So now I've got that color. This is a little bit of a darker green, and I think I can get it to where I have some areas that blend a little bit. I like the Derwent Inktense for sketching a lot, and one of the things that's I would say one of the negatives is that sometimes it's hard to judge what's the color going to be when you've actually applied the water to it. So there's a little bit of a learning curve on that, but they're just fun. There's so much so much of a just, you know, it just adds to the joy of sketching. You see, you've got this dry material that you can get a pretty good rendering of what you want, and then going in and working with your water can bring out some, you know, just some interesting effects. Now here's this is my darkest, and like I said before, one of the things about the Derwent's Inktense blocks is it's really difficult to tell what the number is in correlation with the color. But I think this is kind of a reddish black, and I thought that the red being the opposite of green would be kind of a neat, nice contrast and give some interesting dark zones within the piece. And I think that's going to be true. But like I said, what the interesting thing about these blocks is that you can get such a really dramatic shift when the water gets in there. So, and like I said, I'm not worried about the lettering. I'm more concerned with the form. With this little 10-minute sketch here, right? So I've left some pretty big areas white, and I'm going to kind of come through, I think, a little bit more green. There's really only a few highlights that pop with almost a white, but even they're not white. Some of the stuff on the lid is. I'm going to see if maybe I can get I'm going to break this, break my stick here so I can get a better, let's give it a little bit of a shadow from the harshness of the studio light. Right? My sketchbook underneath. Alright. And I don't want it to go too far. Maybe we can get a little bit more on this edge too. Working on that negative space. Might have to come in a little bit later and play with some of those darks. But now I got my water brush, and I can never remember the name of this. Kuretake is the brand. Give it a little squeeze, get some water out of it. Now with this, I'm going to go work into the lightest greens first, and see about kind of spreading them out without dirtying the water up too much. So the nice thing about this is that it's a relatively monochromatic composition. So there isn't a lot of there won't be a lot of mud created, or I hope there won't be a lot of mud created. It's just it's interesting. I mean, it's almost at this point, like now, I'm almost playing around more with like what it looks like on my paper, as opposed to worrying about how it looks on the versus the can, right? So, does it look like it's, you know, exactly a can of Sprite? Maybe not. I'm going to clean off my brush a little bit there. So what I do is I'll wipe it on the side, and I think that should it keeps your brush a little bit cleaner. Let's see how this brownish red kind of is coming through here. Let's get this so we can really see the contrast of these different shapes. Kind of fun to blend this. And it's dry enough because it's winter that these colors really, they'll dry pretty quick. And that can be a good or bad thing, because if you leave it, you'll end up with a line as your color, dries. I'll end up with this line. Which, with watercolor, it would be a bloom. And I'll put those where the water backs in. Let's see if we can give this a little bit. Okay, let's go. We got our 1:30. Let's get some of these, a little bit more of the details. And you can see that I'm picking, as I pick up the color from the one zone, I'm trying to apply it to some of these other tonal areas so that we can get a little bit more control over the variety of what we're doing without worrying too much about is the block, is this piece of chalk basically thin enough to give me a real detail, whereas the brush, we can get in there and I go to town a little bit more with detail wise. Let's see through here. Clean this off because I want to get this green that I left. But you can really see how it doesn't take much. A little quick sketch, 10 minutes. 10 minutes flies by. Flies by when you're having fun, right? When it's over at the 10 seconds, the 10-second countdown. Let's get a little bit more in the shadows. There we go. Gonna wrap it up. Put a nice quick 10 minutes. Oh, somebody commented on one of my posts from earlier. So hey, I hope you had fun. You give these Inktense blocks or pencils a try. But to me, they're just a lot of fun. Have a quick sketch. These are a great addition to your standard pencils and pens and things that you're taking with you out on a sketching trip. And yeah, you can get some pretty decent quick results with some minimal minimal tools. And I think that's the key for getting out and sketching, or even sketching on a daily basis, is having a nice compact kit that you don't have to search around for things. And I think I'll go over that in the next, once we're done with the 30 days, I'll probably take that'll be a video of like kind of what I keep in my my sketching kit as I go around, like sort of an everyday carry, but more of a here's what I take, how compact it can be and stuff. So thanks a lot, everybody. I really appreciate you watching the video up to this point. If you've gotten this far, please be sure to give me a like. Share this with your friends if you think they'd get a kick out of it. And be sure to subscribe if you haven't done so already. I'm getting close to 100, so I'm 11 away from 100. I think that's another thing that's going to be in the future, that I'm going to do a subscriber contest to get myself over 100. So maybe we'll have some chase goals for bigger numbers too. We'll see how that goes. Right now, I'm still having fun, and hope you are too. Hey, if you can give somebody a reason to smile, you just might get to smile too. So thanks a lot, everybody, and I'll see you tomorrow. What are we doing? Oh, tomorrow is my numbers. Around the house detritus. So basically, if you have a junk drawer, go into your junk drawer and just grab some stuff and put it on a table and draw it. So that's what we're gonna do. So I don't have a drawer, but I have junk surfaces. So anyway, thanks a lot, everybody. Take care, and I will see you again tomorrow. Bye.